Good morning, YouTube. Today we are going over the 2025 Detroit Tigers. If you all know, my favorite team is the St. Louis Cardinals, but growing up, my grandparents up in Kalamazoo took me to a Detroit Tigers game in 1984, the year they won the World Series, and ever since then I was been a Detroit Tigers American League fan. Absolutely loved Old Tiger Stadium. It hooked me in as a kid, and I've been a Tigers fan ever since. Those old teams with Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, Chet Lemon, all those guys. But that has nothing to do with today. Today we're going over the 2025 Detroit Tigers. Can they win the Central? Can they make the postseason? And what is their team looking like? Let's get into it. First, we're going to start with their starting staff, anchored by the amazing Cy Young winner, Tarik Skubal. Tarik was amazing last year. He did win the Cy Young. Best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. Lefty, strikes out a lot of batters. Dominant, gives you innings. He takes the ball every 5 days, and he's about as good as it gets. Tarik Skubal, absolutely dominant. They brought back Jack Flaherty. They have Jack Flaherty penciled in as the number 2. Jack's turnaround last year, I believe, is mostly in part to Chris Fetter, who's the amazing pitching coach there in Detroit. They have a great staff to work with their pitchers there. And the turnaround that Jack saw last year, I believe, is thanks in part to the great work they do there. Reese Olson is penciled into their rotation right now. Alex Cobb, who they brought in this winter as well. And then they have Casey Mize, who was the number 1 overall draft pick all the way back in 2018. Feels like this kid's been around forever. He's going to get a shot this year. He's got great stuff. When I first saw him drafted, it reminded me of a young Roger Clemens. He's had injury problems. He's definitely not Roger Clemens, but he is very good, and he still has some upside for Detroit. They also have Kenta Maeda, who's scheduled as like a long reliever right now, and they do have some good arms in the minors. We'll go over those in a little bit. Their bullpen is anchored by Jason Foley, Bo Brisk, Tyler Holton. Got a bunch of their saves last season. Those are the 3 at the end, but they also added Tommy Kahnle, who from the Yankees, who was, if you know, was really good for that Yankees team last year down the stretch and in the postseason, really solid. They also have Will Vest, really good righty, Sean Gunther, Brant Herter, and like I said, Kenta Maeda right now scheduled for long relief, according to Fangraphs this season. So they have depth. They're really good at the starting pitching. They added 2 starters and a bullpen piece this winter, so they're in really good shape as far as the starting pitching and bullpen goes. Now, if we're getting into the lineup, this is subject to change. Like I said, if Alex Bregman is brought in to Detroit, this is obviously going to change the lineup. But right now, it looks like Houston or the Cubs are the favorites to land him. The Tigers have had the highest and best deal allegedly on the table for a while, but he has not signed there. He hasn't signed anywhere. As you know, Scott Boras is his agent, and he's just holding up the entire market right now. But let's get into the lineup. According to Fangraphs, Parker Meadows leading off in center field. He was also drafted in 2018. They have Gleyber Torres, who they brought in as a free agent this winter, another Yankee they brought in, playing second base. I like this addition. I think he's going to do really well hitting at the top of this order in front of Riley Green, who was drafted in 2019. He came into his own last season. I look for him to put up a potential 5-WAR year this year for Detroit. I really like him a lot. They have Kerry Carpenter at second base, who was playing, or at DH, who was playing second base. He can play other positions, but right now they have him penciled in. Cleanup, great little left-handed hitter with a lot of power. I like him a lot. Matt Vierling in right field. Colt Keith at first base. Jace Young, they just drafted in 22. Right now they have him penciled in at third base. His brother plays for the Rangers. Jake Rogers, the catcher. I like Jake a lot. And Trey Sweeney at shortstop. Drafted. They actually traded for him from the Dodgers in the Jack Flaherty trade. So he's going to get a chance to play shortstop this year. That's exciting. Now, you're probably wondering, where's Javier Baez? Where's Dylan Dingler? Dylan Dingler's their backup catcher. Javi Baez, right now, according to Fangraphs, they got him on the bench, and I am okay with that. Javi has to earn his job back. They acquired him in 21, and he has done absolutely nothing for Detroit. He needs to come in this spring and show that he can match the baseball. Even if he strikes out, he's got to start making more contact, though, and putting the ball over the fence. They also have Andy Ibanez, Zach McKinstry. One name you may not see on this list, Spencer Torkelson. I Not sure why Fangraphs doesn't have him on this list. I know they had talked about trading him, but there's no way that Torkelson isn't on the opening day roster if he is still a Detroit Tiger. I still believe in Torque. I still think he's going to play first base and DH, and I think he's going to have a bounce back season if he's there in Detroit. He has a lot to prove. First round pick, just a really good hitter. He's just gotten off to a slow start in Detroit. I mean, but I still believe in Spencer Torkelson, and I think he's going to be an everyday player in Detroit unless he's moved someplace else, which is a rumor, but I'm really shocked that Fangraphs doesn't have him on the list here. All right, now looking at the Tigers' top prospects, like I said, they have pitching in the minors. Jackson Jobe is ready to go. He pitched in the majors last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he pushes for a starting rotation spot out of spring. As you can see, he's number 5 in the top 100 prospects here. There's Jackson Jobe. He's 22. He's got a 60 grade cutter, 55 control, 60 overall, 70 fastball, 70 slider. Tops you can get, 60 changeup as well. He was just a first round pick in 2021. He's got electric stuff in his arm. And like I said, I believe as talent goes, he's right there behind Tariq Skubal. And like I said, he's number 5 on the prospect rankings for baseball. Also in their system, they have Max Clark, who they just drafted in 2023. Young outfielder with a lot of power. His highest level was high A last year, but I expect him to start at double A and maybe have a chance to move up to triple A this season. They also have Jace Young, who I said was drafted in. He was drafted in 2022, but he's probably going to be playing third base for them this year. Trey Sweeney, who they got in the Jack Flaherty trade, going to be playing shortstop the way it looks right now, unless Baez comes in and absolutely dominates and earns that position. Ty Madden, right-handed pitcher, has already been in the majors. He was a 2021 draft pick. So they've got more players coming. They've got a decent system, but a lot of these guys are going to be playing this year on the major league team. I'm going to give you 3 bold predictions for this year's 2025 Detroit Tigers. First up, on the offense, Jace Young is going to win Rookie of the Year in the American League. I love this kid a lot. He's a left-handed hitter. He plays a good third base, and he's got some power, and he's got some speed, and I really, really like his game. I believe he will win Rookie of the Year in the American League this season for the Detroit Tigers. My bold prediction for the Tigers pitching staff this year, Jackson Jobe will make the starting rotation and will be their second best overall pitcher behind Tariq Skubal this season. I don't think that's too big of a stretch to say with the talent that he has, but it being his first full season in the major leagues, you know, and with some guys like Flaherty and Cobb and Mize on that rotation and on that team, it could be a bit of a stretch, but I think Jackson Jobe takes this season and just dominates right behind Tariq Skubal for the Detroit Tigers. My third bold prediction is Gleyber Torres, who they just got from the New York Yankees, will have a big bounce back season and will be an American League All-Star this summer. Gleyber Torres will be an All-Star for the Detroit Tigers. That's my third bold prediction. Now, overall for Detroit, I want to say that they're going to push the Royals in the American League Central, and they probably will. I think they'll hang around, but overall, I think they're going to finish second in the AL Central to the Royals. The Royals are just very talented right now, and if Detroit was to add Bregman, that could change a lot of things. They need another bat. They need another guaranteed bat in that lineup, and unless somebody like Torque takes a step forward or Javi Baez makes a big comeback, I just think they're a bat short of really pushing the Kansas City Royals in the American League Central. Overall, though, I do love the Detroit Tigers. They're my second favorite team. I love this roster. I love the young players they have, and I'm super excited to watch the Detroit Tigers this summer. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. Tell your friends about this podcast. Tell your family. Make sure they're hitting the subscribe button. It helps out a ton. I need to build this channel up. We got to build it up this summer. I love baseball. I'm passionate about baseball. I'm going to be talking about baseball every day, MLB the Show as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what team you would like to see me break down next for this 2025 season. And until next time, you can catch me right here, same Buck time, same Buck channel.